Lavrentiy Beria was an ethnic Georgia born in Merkuli in southern Russia, which is now Georgia, to Pavel Kukovich Beria and Marta Ivanovna. He was educated at a technical school in nearby city of Sukhumi. In March 1917, he joined the Bolsheviks, included Baku, Azerbaijan Democratic Republic. In 1919, he worked in the security service of Azerbaijan. In 1920 or 1921, he became a member of the Bolshevik secret police, Cheka, and played a role in the Soviet invasion of Georgia. In 1922, he became the deputy head of the Georgian branch of the Cheka, which later evolved into the OGPU organization. In 1924, during the Georgian nationalist uprising, he played a role in the arrest and execution of 10,000 political opponents of the Soviet government. For his ruthless efficiency in the suppression of the uprising, he was awarded the Order of the Red Banner and was made the head of a secret political division of the Transcaucasian OGPU. In 1926, he was named the head of the Georgian OGPU. It was about this time that he met and became an ally of fellow Georgian communist Joseph Stalin. In 1931, he was appointed the secretary of the Community Party of Georgia. In the following year, he became the secretary of the Community Party for the entire Transcaucasian region. In 1934, he became a member of the Central Committee of the Communist Party. During the Great Purge orchestrated by Joseph Stalin, he removed several of his political opponents. In August 1938, he was brought to Moscow, Russia, and was appointed the deputy head of the People's Commissariat for Internal Affairs, NKVD. In this role, he further aided Stalin's purge with his newfound power over the Soviet police forces. In 1938, he was named the head of the main administration of state security of the NKVD. In November 1938, he became the head of the NKVD after his successor, Nikolai Yezhov, was purged and later executed by Stalin. As the purge began to damage the Soviet infrastructure, he oversaw the easing of the repression, releasing over 100,000 people from labor camps back into the workforce, blaming the excesses during the purge of Yezhov. Starting in 1938, Beria began a project rebuilding a monastery in the Moscow suburbs. When Sukanovo, also known as the Special Object Number 110, was completed, he would maintain a personal office there. The lower levels of Sukanovo housed a complex of prison cells and torture chambers, and Beria was said to have personally witnessed many brutal interrogations at Sukhavono. Some of the Sukhanovo prisoners were as high-ranking as Red Army generals, many of whom would be held there for extended periods of time before facing trial. In March 1939, Beria became a candidate member of the Politburo governing body while still being in control of the NKVD. He held these roles as the Soviet Union entered the World War II. In September of 1939, on March 5, 1940, he sent a note to Stalin regarding his recommendation to eliminate captured Polish officers and intelligentsia. This recommendation led to the Katyn massacre, which saw the deaths of over 20,000 people. Starting in October 1940, he conducted a new round of purge, this time within the army and industries related to the military. In February 1941, he became deputy chairman of the Council of the People's Commissars. In June 1941, after the German invasion of the Soviet Union, Beria became a member of the State Defense Committee. In 1942, he suggested the GKO to widen the range of crimes to which family members of the accused could also be arrested, and for the large part, he got what he wished, and thousands were arrested and placed under his control. Shortly after, with his power over the labor camps, he bolstered the Soviet industrial base by providing forced laborers from the vast numbers of arrestees to the armament industry. In 1944, after German troops were driven out of Soviet territory, He was in charge of punishing those who had collaborated with the German occupation administration. In December 1944, he was placed in charge with the security efforts surrounding the Soviet atomic research project, as well as the labor force required for the related construction. In July 1945, the Soviet police was militarized, and Beria's title was converted to Marshal of the Soviet Union. While in power, Beria was known among his peers as a sexual predator. On many occasions, he would bring women into his soundproof office and rape them. Some of the women who objected to his advances found themselves arrested within the following days. Stalin and other Soviet leaders who had daughters were reported to have demanded them to be careful with Beria. He had kept a list of his sexual conquests. The Soviet government acknowledged the list's existence on January 17th of 2003, but would not declassify the list for another 25 years. His wife, Nina Jijikori, however, maintained that Beria had been faithful to her, and the sexual predatory character was a fiction created by Beria's political opponents. She noted that Beria was far too busy with his responsibilities to have raped all those women that he was accused to have done.